Hello there, I'm Jeff and welcome to the Geek Blend. Today I will be doing a review/breakdown of Season 7, Episode 10 of the Clone Wars. This will contain spoilers, so don't watch anymore unless you don't care to be spoiled. The show opens up as it did last week, with a more cinematic tone which adds a more saga-like feel to it. Also, the titles are in red just like in Revenge of the Sith. And then we see Part 2 titled Phantom Apprentice. The episode opens with Maul facing Ahsoka, and she is surrounded by Mandalorians that are under his control. Maul tells her that her name is not familiar to him, but Ahsoka knows who he is. Ahsoka activates a signal on her armband and alerts Captain Rex. Maul tells her that he had hoped that Kenobi would have shown up with Skywalker and says he wonders if the moment may be upon us. We as the audience assume he is talking about Order 66. Maul wants to know why Kenobi sent Ahsoka. He tells her that surrender is pointless because the Jedi and the Republic will no longer be the controlling interest in the galaxy. Of course, she asks him who will be. You? He answers no, it will be Darth Sidious. At this point, Ahsoka doesn't know that name, but you can see concern in her eyes. The clones arrive and Maul and Ahsoka start their battle. We get a quick glimpse of the animation and fight choreography in this episode. Maul tells her, not yet. Force pushes her. Force grabs a clone and throws it over to her, which throws her against a wall. The clones, led by Ahsoka, chase after him. They run through the tunnels until she eventually runs into her own men with no sign of Maul. We cut to the throne room back on the surface of Mandalore. Ahsoka, Rex, and Bo-Katan are joined by the hologram of Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is when we start getting into the meat of the episode. Bo-Katan says they must capture Maul before he escapes. Ahsoka tells Obi-Wan that Maul mentioned a name, Darth Sidious. We see the look on Obi-Wan's face because we know he has heard this name before. When he was taken captive on Geonosis, Count Dooku told him about Darth Sidious. He tells them that the Jedi Council suspects that Darth Sidious orchestrated the Clone Wars and has been playing both sides against each other from the beginning. He tells them that any chance of learning more about Sidious from Dooku has been lost because Anakin killed Dooku while rescuing the Chancellor. Obi-Wan wants them to capture Maul so they can solve the mystery that is Darth Sidious. Ahsoka wants more clones, but Kenobi says that can't happen and he is being sent to Utapau. So we know at this point in time we are at least halfway through the Revenge of the Sith timeline. Now Obi-Wan asks to speak to Ahsoka alone. He informs her that Anakin is on a special assignment by the Jedi Council. The Council is having him report back after observing the Chancellor, and Ahsoka points out that they mean spy, not observe. Back to the timeline here. The episodes don't do a great job showing any passing of time, so it feels way off, and that is my biggest problem with this episode. Rex comes in and says there has been an attack on his men, and Ahsoka leaves. This will be the last time she will ever see Obi-Wan Kenobi. So Rex and Ahsoka descend back into the underworld of Mandalore. Trooper Sterling tells Ahsoka that Maul went right through them and took ARC Trooper Jesse alive, realizing he was older after he had looked into his mind. Maul tells Jesse that he was bred for the plan, the only plan that matters. At this point, we realize Maul had not been aware of the grand design of Sidious's plan. He talks about being cast aside and forgotten, and says he will survive the coming chaos. Maul tells Gar Saxon to see that the Prime Minister doesn't become an ally to the enemy. I also love how Gar Saxon's helmet is painted to look like Maul, and it even has the horns. Looks really cool. We see Maul torturing Jesse for information like Kylo did to Poe in Episode 7. Next we see Ahsoka, Rex, and Bo-Katan talking to the Prime Minister in his cell, and they ask about Maul's plan and how he plans to escape. The Prime Minister informs them that he does not plan to escape because he sees no point. The Prime Minister says that Maul has been consumed by a strange sense of dread for weeks. We all assume now that Maul has had a vision of things to come, and he's most likely going to stay on Mandalore while the power shifts in the galaxy. I also think it's so Darth Sidious doesn't sense Maul and go after him. The Prime Minister says that Maul wanted Kenobi and another to come there. Before Bo-Katan can get the name out of him, Gar Saxon shoots him twice in the chest, and in his dying breath, the Prime Minister tells Ahsoka that Maul had a dream, a vision, and in that dream the name Skywalker came to him. Another confirmation that Maul had a dark side vision or dream of what will happen with Order 66 and Anakin Skywalker becoming the apprentice of Darth Sidious. Later in the episode, we see Maul telling the Syndicate leaders to go into hiding, and we also see Dryden Voss from Solo in the hologram, along with the Pikes and other Syndicate leaders. Maul says the dark side has never been stronger and that the galaxy will be remade, and so they need to seize power while they can. Cut back to Ahsoka and Rex, and Ahsoka is telling Bo-Katan that once Maul has been captured, they will leave. As they walk into the throne room, we see that Maul is sitting on the throne. He has ARC Trooper Jesse next to him cuffed, and then Bo-Katan attacks and he chokes her. He gives Jesse back to them as a show of good faith. I think he did this because he wants as few clones around him when Order 66 is executed. We hear explosions in the background, and Ahsoka tells Bo-Katan and Rex to go join the battle. Maul starts up more exposition here. He mentions that Sidious has been in the shadows controlling things, and that he will reveal himself soon. Maul wants Ahsoka to join him to destroy Sidious and Skywalker, and that every decision she has made has led to this moment. The animation in the throne room and in this episode as a whole is amazing. It's the best it's ever been on the show. If they continue with more animated shows in the future, I hope they keep up this level of detail. Ahsoka says she will help him if he answers one question. What do you want with Anakin Skywalker? Maul says he is the key to everything, and he tells her that Anakin will destroy the Force, not bring it into balance. Of course, Ahsoka thinks this is a lie, and we find out that Maul orchestrated the war on Mandalore to get Kenobi and Skywalker there. This is where their duel begins, and it looks spectacular. It is cut with scenes of the battle going on outside, like in a lot of Star Wars movies. I do find it kind of annoying sometimes, to be honest. The fight really does look outstanding, and it's definitely up there with some of the greatest fights in the saga. Not in the top 5, but it is up there. The one thing it does show is how sloppy and badly choreographed the fights were in the sequel trilogy. This is an animated show. It should not be a better fight than a movie in the, quote, Skywalker saga, but it really is. The fight was done with motion capture, and you can really tell. It looks more grounded. And if you go back and watch past lightsaber battles in this show, they definitely stick out. They look like they have no real weight or force behind the swings or the lightsaber blows. The mocap really ups it to another level, and the OG Darth Maul himself, Ray Park, did the fight choreography for this amazing duel. The fight moves out of the throne room to the rafters way above the city. Maul tells his Mandalorians that his ship is coming and they should die well after they ask for his help. Ahsoka says that Obi-Wan was right. Maul is hard to kill. Maul yells that they could have destroyed Sidious, but Ahsoka points out that he just wants to take his place. So he's basically like every dark side user. They want the power for themselves. He doesn't care about the Republic or the Jedi. Maul just wants power and control. That's what he's been doing since he was brought back in Season 4. The fight continues, and it looks as if Ahsoka is going to perish, but she gets the upper hand, and Maul is captured by Rex and his clones. The episode ends with Ahsoka standing on the rafters looking up to the stars. I really liked this episode. In fact, I do believe it's one of the best in the series. And now we know that Order 66 is just around the corner. Again, I have to mention how great the animation looked. Go back and watch an episode of Season 1, and then come back and look at this. It's night and day, and kudos to the animators. I'm really interested to see how Rex will get the chip out of his head amidst the chaos going on with Order 66. Only 2 more episodes left in this arc. I really wish we had gotten a lot more, though. We know there were a bunch more written, so that's kind of disappointing. And that's my review and breakdown of this episode of The Clone Wars Phantom Apprentice. I really enjoyed it, even though the timeline was confusing and felt off. That's my biggest problem with this episode, and in fact, it's my only problem. I pretty much enjoyed everything else. There was a lot of exposition, but it worked and it was well written. It didn't feel like some movies or shows that just give you exposition like the character is only doing it for the audience or reading it off of a script. It was done well here. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more, and hit the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date on everything we release here on the Geek Blend. I'm Jeff, and remember, if you geek about it, we'll speak about it. See you all next time, and may the Force be with you. Have a great day.